My name is Kyber, and I like to pretend that I make Star Wars and beauty content, even though it's been months since I've made Star Wars and beauty content. Well, I've actually made a bunch of videos that I just hated and deleted, or get halfway through editing and delete, but today we're changing that. I'm creating this look here today with as much of my Star Wars makeup. I can't even hold all of it. As much of the Star Wars makeup that I can use. And I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys asked me on Instagram and Twitter. Well, I actually asked you to ask me questions for me to answer in this video. These questions are a mixture of Star Wars and makeup and like some personal questions. So I got 21 questions and they all about us. Earlier this year, like around January of this year, I hit 1,000 subscribers. By the way, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? It's a big accomplishment for me personally because I have been making content for like 7-8 years now, and I thought that doing like a little Q&A would be fun and we can like get to know each other a little bit more. I'm actually at like 1,100 subscribers, which is insane, but no, truly, thank you guys so much. I really couldn't have hit 1,000 without you, and I appreciate you. Enough about that. Let's get into these questions. The first question is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie and why is it Rogue One? First of all, LOL. Second of all, Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. I watch Rogue One the most. I always want to watch Rogue One. I love the characters. I love the story. It's just so good. But do I think it's the best Star Wars movie? No, I don't. But I still love it. There's just something about Rogue One. Like, something about it just works so well. And I can honestly talk about it forever, and I probably will. I'll make a video talking about why Rogue One is that girl. Favorite makeup brushes and eye makeup brushes. When it comes to makeup brushes, I really don't have that much of a preference. I think as long as it's soft and it feels good on your eye, that's really all that matters. It could be a cheap brush, it can be a high-end brush. It's whatever you can afford and whatever feels nice. These are all my brushes. I use these. I use these on a daily basis. Like, these are the brushes I keep out most of the time. And I just bought these brushes from Made by Mitchell. I just love the color. They're so fun. These are just like my extra brushes. So this is my professional makeup bag. Oh my gosh. It's a brush cleaner, by the way. And I keep other things in here, like some quick little brushes, my mirror, Sharpies, pens, nail files. What do I have in this one here? Oh, mints. I also have like tattoo cover-up, alcohol makeup, trash bags, tape, nail glue, floss, and allergy medicine. Yeah, these are my brushes that I use. I don't actually have that many brushes when it comes to like being a professional artist. Like, my assistants have more brushes than I do. All my assistants have so many brushes, and then I'm like coming in with my tiny little brush case. So in my kit I have a lot of Melt Cosmetics makeup brushes. I have some Makeup Forever makeup brushes. And this is a knockoff MAC brush that came in a knockoff MAC makeup brush set from like the Alley, the Santee Alley. I have Bdellium, which is a professional makeup brand. I also have a lot of Milani Cosmetics. I don't have a preference for them. I think whatever feels nice on your face is a good brush to use. When it comes to doing eye makeup, I really feel like you only need like 2 kinds of brushes. So you only need like a C brush, which is like this. It's like thin on the sides and it's domed. You only need like one of these, and then you need some kind of fluffy brush. See how this is like a fluffier, and that's really all you need. You can have different sizes of just those 2 brushes. A fluffy brush you can literally do anything with. The next question is Ulta or Sephora. So Sephora immediately. I do try to use more higher end brands, especially if I'm buying stuff for my makeup kit. I do want to have like more high-end stuff to be client facing. I'm going to go in with my Mandalorian palette from ColourPop Cosmetics, and I'm going to go in with Mythosaur. Some of these questions that I got asked are very similar, so I'm just going to kind of like group them together, whichever ones are similar enough. This question says, a fandom most would be surprised to hear you're into/not into, and congrats on the 1K, thank you. Do you like any other fandoms besides Star Wars? I've made a video or two on here before about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender was actually my very first fandom back in the Tumblr days around like 2009, 2010. Actually, before that, I was really into like My Chemical Romance. I was like an MC Army girly. I do want to venture more into Avatar content, especially since we have the live action show coming out. Another fandom that I'm like very new to is the Hermione fandom. I'm like obsessed with those two. But fandoms I'm not into anything superheroes. Not for me. Not into Marvel. I'm not into DC. Earlier this year, I did try to get into some of the Marvel movies. Like I did watch all of Phase 1s. Like they're fine movies, but I just don't really care about them. Favorite Star Wars actor. Okay, I got a lot of like favorite this, favorite that, and it is so hard for me to answer one question. I mean, I am a Libra, so it's hard for me to make decisions. I love Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've been a big fan of him since Moulin Rouge. I also really love Natalie Portman. Been a big fan of her since Mars Attacks. I love them all, what can I say? But if I had to pick one, probably Ewan. I'd probably pick Ewan McGregor. Okay, now I'm going in with the same palette with This Is the Way. Same brush. Okay, favorite makeup brands. I really love what Isamaya French is doing with her brand called Isamaya. I really love how experimental she is. Like, she is an amazing makeup artist. I also really love Pat McGrath, who is another amazing makeup artist. She is like the makeup artist of like our time. She has her own brand called Pat McGrath Labs, and I love her stuff. Like, I have some of her eyeshadow palettes. They're Star Wars, of course. Also, the fact that she's a Star Wars girly, like, hello. So I have these from her, and her stuff is expensive. Like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. But the quality, it's there. Favorite makeup looks, and I feel like I can interpret this question a few different ways, so I'll give you a few different answers. My favorite makeup look that I've done like recently this year for my makeup career, I'll pop some up on screen. One of them was this shoot that I did with Suki Baby. We did an editorial that was published in Dazed magazine celebrating her heritage as a Black woman and a Japanese woman. We had another editorial published recently in Shown magazine, and that was so cool. We had her on like a dirt bike. I was really inspired by tire tracks, like motorcycle tires, and so I was trying to figure out how do I make the idea of a motorcycle tire into makeup. It was so fun. I also did a really fun shoot for Liquid IV. They're one of my main clients. I created like these icy nails for them, as well as like this icicle cooled look. For myself personally, when it comes to like YouTube, I did a really cool look inspired by C3PO. It was the first time I used my C3PO palette, and honestly, this is like my third time doing it. I did it on my friend too for a movie premiere that she went to. I'm going to use the Darth Vader palette, and I'm going to go in with this one here, the Empire. Favorite characters in Star Wars movies only. I feel like the most basic answer is Anakin Skywalker, and I just feel like the whole journey he goes through from episode 1 to episode 6 is just chef's kiss. I love Darth Maul, but Darth Maul didn't really get to be one of my favorite characters until the Clone Wars, so maybe Darth Maul's not included in that. I'm gonna go with Anakin. This person asked 2 questions. What are some of your favorite Anakin and Darth Vader moments? And what shows are you watching? Some of my favorite Anakin moments are, I love when he's a little kid and he's like excited about life, because it is just such a stark contrast to where we end up with Darth Vader. Like, it's like so tragic. I also love the Rogue One hallway scene, because Vader is such a badass, and he's so scary. Oh, and then he asked also, what shows are you watching right now? It's like Halloween season, so I've been watching like a lot of spooky movies. What Star Wars projects would you like to see them develop next that they have not yet announced? And what do you want Star Wars to do? I want Star Wars to take their time. I feel like it's just been so much like content, that when you have quantity, you're never gonna have quality. And I really feel like that's been the case with a lot of Star Wars projects, even with The Mandalorian. As much as I love The Mandalorian and I'm a huge Mando fan, what was the 3rd season? I love Ahsoka, but that show annihilated her character. Same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett. I want Star Wars to hire better writers and to just take their time with things. I hate to be the person that is like, they're ruining my Star Wars, but they're like ruining my Star Wars. It's like hard for me to enjoy Star Wars these days, especially with like Skeleton Crew. I feel like they're almost like making a mockery out of Star Wars. I also felt like The Acolyte was almost there. It was almost there. I had a lot of issues with The Acolyte, and I feel like we could have had an amazing Star Wars show if it took time to develop, or if it even got a 2nd season. It needed more time. This is kind of like why I stopped, or I needed to take a break from making Star Wars content. It's not fun for me to like come on camera and like be super negative about something that I love. Like, it doesn't feel good to me. Next question, Starfighter. Are you excited for it? Yes and no. I feel like I've just been so burned by Star Wars stuff lately. I'm gonna watch it, yes, because it's a movie and I feel like Star Wars usually shines on the big screen. I'm gonna use Stormtrooper. This is one of my favorite shades here. So pretty. I personally like when Star Wars has unknown actors. I feel like it's way easier for me to suspend my disbelief. But I love me a goth, so hopefully it's good. Favorite band and what are you listening to? Okay, so right now I'm listening to a lot of FK Twigs. I'm like obsessed with her. I think that she is so cool. I love her music. My favorite bands, I'll give you my top favorite bands. I love Circa Survive. They've probably been my favorite band for the last like 15 years. I also really love Harvard. They're not a band anymore and they make me sad. Oh my god, Circa Survive is not a band anymore either. Damn. Neither is Gulch. Oh my god. I'm like realizing that all my favorite bands are not even bands anymore. I also listen to, this is really embarrassing, but I love Dance Gavin Dance. Like, I love Dance Gavin Dance. I went through like a really long Dance Gavin Dance phase that lasted like 5 years. I lived in Sacramento at 2 points in my life, and Dance Gavin Dance is a Sacramento band, so you know, we feel them. I also grew up in the Central Valley. I'm like from the Fresno area. Dance Gavin Dance were like those guys. You know what I mean? Like everyone knew them. But specifically the album that has the Death Star on it and Back. Like those 3 albums. I'll put up a screenshot of what I've been listening to on my like repeat playlist on Spotify. What are you reading? Right now I'm in the middle of like 3 fan fictions. For actual books, I actually just got 2 new books in the mail. I have them right here. One of my friends and a content creator here in the Star Wars community wrote her own book. I'm super excited to read this. Look how big it is. The other book that I got today is this Frankenstein book. Look how beautiful it is. I'm so excited to read this. I'm gonna go watch Frankenstein tomorrow on Halloween night, actually. And so I got the book because I was like, oh, I'm gonna read the book, but I don't think I can read this in 2 days. Going back in with the Darth Vader palette, I'm gonna use I Am the Master. Favorite dish to make? My favorite thing to make is desserts. Like, I love to bake. I always make like these brown butter espresso cookies anytime like I have friends coming over or if I go see friends. I'm also gonna go in with the Star Wars palette by ColourPop Cosmetics, and I'm gonna use this Galactic Empire because it looks a little bit brighter and I think I want this to be brighter. Next question, Jod or Kyber? Kyber. As a Filipino, I'm always gonna pick the other Filipino. Favorite Star Wars show? Easily The Mandalorian. I am a huge Grogu girly. I love Grogu. I love Mando. I'm single-handedly keeping the Grogu economy alive. Like, I just love Grogu. I have Grogu everything. How did you get into MUA, so makeup artistry? I feel like this question I get asked so much. I wanted to be a model, but I am not tall enough to be a model, nor am I a model now currently or ever have been. But I used to shoot all the time. Like, I used to just book photo shoots. But it wasn't happening for me, and I was not getting signed to any agencies. And I knew that I wanted to continue being on set. I knew there's a lot more work behind the scenes. So I decided to try makeup, and thank God I was good at it. And that I love it so much. I started learning makeup in theater. I am a theater kid. I did it through high school, all 4 years in high school. And I did it in college as well. I did makeup and costuming in college. How did you get into doing dope AF makeup? Like, I'm assuming they mean with YouTube. I had mentioned a little bit earlier, I had like a whole other channel that I started, I think in like 2016. And I would just make makeup content because that was what was really popular at the time. That was like the time of like the beauty gurus. And I'm like, oh, I'm a makeup artist. I can make beauty content. So I made beauty content. It was not very good. I also used to do like vlogs, like travel vlogs or vlogs about being a makeup artist. Like, I'm telling you guys, being a makeup artist was like my whole personality up until like 2020 when like the pandemic hit and I didn't work for 6 months and I was just like stuck in my tiny apartment in downtown LA, like losing my mind. And then when the Mandalorian came out, I was just like so in love with Star Wars, and I had to talk about it. I was talking about Star Wars to anyone who would listen to me, to my dad, my brother, my friends. And my dad and my brother are big Star Wars fans. Like, they're big nerds. And I feel like even they were like getting tired of me talking about it so much. And so I was like, well, I have a YouTube channel. I'm just gonna start talking about it on YouTube. And this is about the time that I found out about like Star Wars Twitter. Found out that people love talking about Star Wars online, and I wanted to talk about Star Wars with other people that love Star Wars. The makeup aspect didn't come around till like a few months later. Sorry, my brush is broken. I don't know if you can hear it. And I have a few reasons for wanting to do makeup while I talk about Star Wars at the same time. I was trying to figure out a way to differentiate myself from other Star Wars content creators. Like, what can I bring to the table that is different from everyone else? Because there's big content creators out there already. There's all these amazing podcasts out there. I was like, well, I'll just focus on like the girly things. I'm gonna add some glitter because I love glitter. It's so fun. There is another aspect to why I do makeup. It's like this idea of like why people do like interviews with like celebrities or other people while they're in the middle of doing something, because your brain is so focused on the task at hand. It's harder for you to come up with like predetermined answers, like premeditated answers. And so like a lot of the times the answers will just be more like authentic and real, not rehearsed. And I really strive to be that way on camera. I really do try to come on here and be myself. Like, I don't want to come on here and like perform. And it's so easy for me to perform. It is so easy for me to write a script and read the script. I come on here, I set up a light and I have it facing me. I don't like to come on camera unless I've had coffee or I have a coffee sitting off camera. I don't like to come on camera if I'm having a bad day or if I'm not feeling high energy. And I have to like ask myself, like, why do I feel like I need to perform to be liked? Because I think we just want to be liked, at least me. Like, I really want to have friends, and I have to like work through that actively for being myself. And I feel like every time I come on camera, I become closer and closer to who I actually am off camera. You know, my friends watch my videos. I don't want them to watch my video and be like, Crystal, why do you talk like that? That's not how you talk. The other thing is, I used to be like pretty insecure with how I look on camera. Of course, I'm like staring at myself, and then when I'm editing, I'm like staring at myself and I'm like nitpicking the way that I speak, the way that I look, where I'm looking, what I'm saying, if I'm saying it properly, do I sound smart enough? Very easy for me to like pick myself apart, basically, is what I'm trying to say. If my makeup wasn't perfect or if my eyeliner wasn't even, and like, spoiler, my eyeliner is never even. My eyes are two different shapes. One way for me to kind of like combat this insecurity of mine was just to show up on camera without any makeup on. Like, the whole reason I'm doing this is because I want to meet other people that are just excited about Star Wars like me, or like know more about Star Wars, or like want to talk about like one specific scene in Rogue One for an hour, those are the people I want to meet. And I think in order to meet people like that, meet people like you, is I gotta be upfront about it. I gotta be real about it. How has the LA Comic-Con experience influenced your decision making moving forward with bad feelings? So I would have answered this question a lot differently when I first got it. Around February, March, I had just done LA Comic-Con for the first time with Bad Feeling. By the way, if you don't know, I have a fandom-based clothing brand. We mostly do Star Wars. We have Lord of the Rings and Xenomorph stuff. This necklace is actually from Bad Feeling. But last year's con was our first ever convention, and it was rough. It was really discouraging because I felt like we had bad product, and I feel like we were failures and we sucked. And why am I putting so much money into this if no one likes it? So I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I kind of didn't touch Bad Feeling for months because I was just so discouraged. But we had already paid to do LA Comic-Con this year, 2025. And so I was like, all right, well, we got to do it. We kind of like had to reevaluate everything that happened last year at LA Comic-Con and try to figure out a way to like improve on that. I will have a vlog up. I did film a vlog, so I'm just really slow at editing, okay? Earlier this month, and it was amazing. It was such a great experience. So big improvement. It has really inspired me to like keep going with Bad Feeling. I use so many things for external validation. Oh my God. I'm not done with Bad Feeling is what I'm trying to say. Braces update. I've had my braces for about a year and 2 months now. I just went in at the beginning of this month and they like repositioned some of the brackets. I think they did like 6 brackets total because they said they're trying to get my roots to move a certain way. We did x-rays. They told me they're sending the x-rays to the surgeon. So I should be getting surgery like next year sometime, like maybe January, February. So next question, favorite tattoo? Definitely my palms. I got these done in 2017. They look amazing. I went to Mark Walker. He's based out of San Diego. If you ever want to get your palms tattooed, I highly recommend going to someone like Mark Walker or going to someone who has plenty of experience doing palms. Okay, last question. Favorite Star Wars character? Grogu. I also really love Darth Maul. I think he's really cool. He looks really cool. I like his character arc. Those are my 21 questions. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has supported me over the last few years. It really means so much for your support. And I'm just so grateful for like the small community of us. Oh my God, did you hear that? That was really scary. That was outside. Oh my God, that scared me. If you want to find me on other social medias, I'm on Instagram and on Twitter under Crystal Kyber. I'll have them linked down below. I will see you guys very soon. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, and may the force be with you.